What it do, baby? English Friday, baby. Ain't no break for us. Ain't no day off. So, okay, yeah, we took 1 week off. Like 1 week off of podcasting. Because, I mean, that president stuff, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And I'm very, very happy about that. And I wanted to make sure that Bruno gets some time off too. Because this is a team effort. This is my man. He's my brother. For me, he ain't blood, but he brother, you know. So I'm very, very happy with Bruno having a week off, and even me just having a week off to ease my mind and talk about just focus on the women's hockey stuff. And now that everything is fixed and we're ready to go, I can't wait to tell you guys and gals our names, and more play will be announced in the upcoming days. But this is not what we're talking about right now. No. Oh, Lord. My favorite, top 5, top 3, top 2 favorite football player of all time. Ben Cahoon. This dude is legit. A legit player on the football field, legit dude in life. That guy sponsored that Classic guy without even knowing who I was, and for that I respect him, because he didn't do it for the clout. He did it because he wants to help, and he wants to help Montreal and stuff like that. So man, I appreciate you, Ben, and I can't wait to just meet you and play golf in Utah with you, because for sure I'm going in Utah. This is not this ain't no lie. This ain't no lie. I'm going to Utah. So I can't wait for you to hear that interview with Ben Cahoon. Him and Anthony Calvillo are the greatest Alouettes of all time. Let's put it like this. We have 1A, 1B greatest Alouette of all time on the podcast. This is what we do today. This is how we do it. And I'm pumped about it. I'm pumped about it because having the trust of those legends is very, very important for me, and having the trust of Ben Cahoon is very important to me. Came on the podcast and we chat a lot about a lot of good stuff. So here we go. Ben Cahoon, sans restriction, baby. I'm very, 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 very happy to have him on the podcast. This dude is the greatest receiver that the Montreal Alouette has ever seen. You know him as Ben Cahoon, but I know him also as the G2G bar boss. How you doing, Ben?
Hey, you know how to make a guy feel special. Nice job. Thank you for that. It's a good way to start the week.
Hey, I practice in my car. I never practice. I practice the Ben Cahoon in my car. I never practice. How did it make you feel when the first time you heard it like that?
Well, the first few times I thought everybody was booing, and then it became a real special thing that I would get asked about it by opposing players, when we were playing in other cities all the time. So wow. It became a real cool thing that I really appreciated.
Did the boys in the locker room tease you a bit every time you threw something in the garbage? Ben Cahoon!
No, they probably just rolled their eyes.
That's amazing. So what have you been up to right now? I know you had the G2G bar, and what are you doing?
I'm doing retail sales for an awesome protein bar called Good to Go, G2G protein bar. We launched into Canada a few years ago. COVID has affected things because we haven't been able to get up there as much as we wanted. I'm actually so excited. My wife and I are coming up to Montreal this week.
Oh.
Wednesday night for the game on Thursday. And they're going to do a 20th anniversary of the 2002 Grey Cup. So.
Wow, this is awesome. Okay, so what's your greatest memory of that 20 years? What makes you think from that 20 years?
Well, of that game, I mean, it was kind of a tough game because the elements, the field was so slippery. It was frozen over the night before. And that was a challenge. Obviously, winning the game was the best part, but the parade down St. Catharines in downtown Montreal was absolutely amazing. That's to this day gives me chills whenever I think about it. It was fantastic, and the whole city came out to show their appreciation and support us, and it was just a real special deal.
You know, I missed school for that. I missed school for that day. I skipped. My first time I skipped school, it was for y'all.
Nice. Hopefully it was worth it. It's a good memory.
Oh, it was amazing. But talk to me about that era of the Alouettes, because I remember I didn't care about no NFL. I cared about those boys. Those boys wearing the Alouette logo. And this era, in that era, you guys were like huge superstars.
Well, it was a special time for sure, and I'd give credit to Mr. Wettenhall and Jim Pop for putting the team together and then keeping the core together. You know, Brian Chu, Zumo Keke, Scott Flory, Anthony, obviously, and Anwar Stewart, John Bowman. Those guys, you know, we were able to stay together, and we knew how to strap it on game day and how to relax and have fun during the week, and just real good, high quality guys and professional the way they approached the game and respected the game.
I had Anwar on the podcast, not Anwar Stewart, sorry. I had John Bowman on the podcast earlier in our tenure on the podcast, and he said Ben was the hardest working guy in the game. But man, when we won the cup, even him, he was partying a little bit. Is it true?
Well, define part. No, it's not true. Knows how to get under somebody's skin, and he's trying to rile me. But we had a little Gatorade, drank a little Gatorade out of the Grey Cup. So the team knew I don't drink, and they were gracious enough to put some Gatorade in there before the hard stuff took over.
So when y'all win the cup, okay, it's Montreal. It's a beautiful city, but when it's dark outside, it's a different city. You know what I mean. So the guys are going to party, and you're staying in the locker room, and you're like, okay, I'll wait for tomorrow. So how did it go?
Actually, and now that I think about it, he is right a little bit. There was one, I don't know which year. It wasn't 2002. Maybe 2009, where I did go out a little bit. There was Nelly was in town. We went to a Nelly concert, and then
exactly.
So he's not lying. I apologize. I did forget about it, but I hung out with the guys a little bit that night, and it was about as crazy as it got for me over my 12 or 13 years in Montreal.
So were you? Because I always. We got a lot of NHL players, a lot of football players, soccer players from Montreal and stuff like that. But I always wondered because, hockey players are getting recognized everywhere. But in your era, y'all were like, for me, actually, and especially for my generation, you're our Beatles, So were you getting recognized everywhere, or it was more like here and there?
Here and there, yeah. Not too often.
That's crazy. And did you?
We're wearing helmets and pads, and I'm a smaller guy, so I would walk around town and nobody would suspect that I was a football player because I'm an average sized guy. But and people were very respectful, and it was always nice if people came up and said nice game or appreciate what you're doing out there. But it was not constant for sure.
Now I've seen you take hits like. I was just watching clips yesterday, and I've seen you take hits and get back up like it was nothing. First thing first, who is the hardest hitter you ever faced?
Well, there was a hit my last year, probably 2010, from Wes Lysak. He was a safety in Calgary. I still feel it. In my neck. He came across and hit me right in the side of the head, and
oof,
a little bit of whiplash. And I still see the chiropractor on occasion for that one.
Oh yeah, I
don't know why. I look at if you look at like the best hits of the year highlights, end of the year highlights, 2008 best hits, 2010 best hits. There are always like 3 of them of me getting blown up. So maybe I was just too slow to avoid the contact or something, but I was the blow up artist, I guess.
Was it something very important for you to, when you get hit, you got to get back up right away just to let them know that it doesn't affect you?
Honestly, there were very few hits that hurt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it hurt the next day, but there were in the game. Obviously, you have pads on, you have a lot of adrenaline going, but there were very few hits that really hurt. If they hurt, then you usually stayed down. But most of the time, it was like shake it off, walk it off, and get back to the huddle. But I think they look worse than they actually were.
Yeah, I see. Also, I want to thank you because you are sponsoring our Classic KR for the kids whose family has been affected with leukemia. So I want to very, very thank you because it's not. I didn't know you, and then when the girls called me and Daphne and Charlotte called me and said Ben Cahoon wants to send bars to the event, I was like, man, the Ben Cahoon I know. I screamed for 5 minutes because that's my dude, And I want to thank you so much for being so fast on the trigger and helping us on that day.
Hey, so happy, and obviously it's a wonderful cause, and my heart goes out to any family that's fighting that battle. But we're happy to donate bars to good causes because the product is amazing, and if people try it, they buy it. So it's a win-win, and but obviously we're happy to support a cause like leukemia.
Thank you so much. Now I need to know. The hell happened on that field goal? They made you kick.
Yeah, I'd never kicked a field goal in a game in my life, high school, college, pro, and Damon Duval got kicked out. I think Toronto, they knew Damon was a little bit of a short fuse maybe, and they were egging him on. They had guys that were just attacking him and trying to get him to react. And near the end of the game, he got ejected because he threw a punch, and it was like, what happened now, So I just kind of screwed around in practice a lot because I was the holder. I was always hanging out with the field goal guys, and I played soccer my whole life. I liked kicking the ball. So I was just the guy that would try to win money off guys during practice and bet whether I could make a field goal. So the game comes down to the wire, and the coaches asked me, hey, what's your range? How close do we need to get before you feel confident? And I'm like, I have no idea what my range is. I've never done this before. So then I was the holder, so I had to do it with a backup holder. So that just makes it more impressive, frankly. I was dealing with the backup.
Yeah.
It was Marcus Brady, and Marcus comes to me and he's like, hey, do you kick off the tee or just off the ground? Well, let's go find out. So we kicked some into the net with the tee and some off the ground, and we decided to go with the tee, and thankfully it worked out. Good snap, good hold, went through.
And the laces, they were not placed the right way. Do you remember?
Thank you for identifying that. Yes, I didn't realize it at the time, but looking at the video, I think the commentator points that out. So Glenn Suter.
Okay, so you have many memorable catch. What's your favorite one? You got one crazy against the Riders when you guys were wearing the old school red jerseys. You got one against the Tiger Cats. I remember you flew. What's your favorite one?
I like the helmet catch just because it was so bizarre, and I still don't really know how it happened, but how his head got between the ball and my body, but that one's my favorite, I guess. If you have a favorite, it wasn't maybe the most impactful in a big game or anything, but it was just a crazy one.
And it's the first time I think I've ever seen you celebrate the way you did. Do you remember that?
Yeah, when I do a awkward fist pump or something.
Yeah, you jumped, and then you fist pumped, and then you stopped, and you kept going about your life.
I forgot the jump. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a little jumpy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so you catch a lot of balls from Anthony Calvillo, and we'll talk about Anthony after. But who else threw you a ball? You're like, man, I love to catch balls from this dude.
Wow. Well, Tracy Ham was the quarterback my rookie year, and Anthony was on the team, and Anthony was, kind of splitting time with Tracy, but Tracy was starting. And Tracy threw a real nice ball. It was easy to catch. Wow. Anthony had some zip on it, so it wasn't necessarily an easy ball to catch, but he spread the ball around. So Tracy Ham was mostly all the balls were going to the inside guys, and I was an outside receiver, the furthest away from the quarterback. So I didn't get a lot of action until Anthony got in the game, and then he had the arm strength to throw it out wide, and really that's what started my career off, is just having Anthony, who had the arm strength to get it out there to the wide receiver. And we had kind of developed a little bit of chemistry doing scout team stuff in practice, running the opponent's offense, since I was young and he was the backup quarterback at the time. So, but I probably caught balls by, a dozen or so other guys. Yeah. Stanley Jackson, Marcus Brady, Cliff Kingsbury, probably 15 others. I can't remember right now off the top of my head.
That's crazy. That's a long, great career. Now, let's talk about AC. So, okay. Do you remember the first time you met him? Did you know that this guy was going to throw you the record ball?
Oh no, obviously not. But I don't remember the first time I met him.
No,
I can't remember. Whether it was in a meeting in training camp or cafeteria or just on the practice field. I'm not sure.
But did you guys knew? Because I spoke with Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, and he told me I knew about Patrick Mahomes the first day I saw him. The first day I saw Patrick, I knew it was going to be problems. Is it the same thing with AC?
No, he was kind of unassuming, and he was brought in from Hamilton, where he had maybe not a great experience because he'd been sacked like crazy and his confidence was low. Mm-hmm. So they brought him in. He was a backup quarterback to Tracy, and he just slowly gained everybody's trust. And when his opportunity came, he took advantage of it, obviously. But what set him apart was his arm strength. And then what everybody realized after the fact was his approach to the game and how he prepared, watching film and studying the playbook and how seriously he took it and the time he took to get ready for each game. That was what I think was the key to his career. In addition to, how he took care of his body and the team that he kind of used to keep himself healthy.
Yeah, it's that time that you can make sure that this podcast lives on forever by buying our merch at thezonekr.ca, or you can buy your tickets for La Classic Car. Buy your tickets for Classic Car. Be there. It's gonna be awesome, and it's for kids that are affected with leukemia. We gotta fight this disease, and it starts with events like this, and people giving money and people being involved and people being nice. So let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's get invested. Let's be there. Let's enjoy a great day of hockey, and let's continue to enjoy the great podcast with Ben Cahoon. In every team, you got that one dude that practices like he plays. And often those guys are on defense. Is there one defensive guy you're like, man, every time we practiced, it was hard?
Well, Baron Miles, I went against Baron Miles for years, and we were good friends off the field, but he's a competitor, and we had plenty of battles. There weren't I mean, I think we had a respect for each other. Most DBs, I wasn't hanging out with most DBs off the field because we were battling each day at practice. So it kind of got personal at times, and I was trying to keep my job and fight for my, to keep a living and earn a living, but Aaron Miles was great competitor. Chip Cox too. Fiery competitor there.
Chip Cox, it looks like, man, this guy looked like every time he hit someone, it hurts. You could feel it at home. Okay, so when you retired from Montreal, okay, you started coaching football. I coached football for 15 years now, and I know when I stopped, I never played pro, but when I stopped, I had to recalibrate my intensity in the games from me playing to me coaching. Is it something that you had to do?
But what do you mean by recalibrate? What you're talking about?
Because it gets very intense, because sometimes you know what the player should do, and the player is not doing it, and you're like, man, if I was in that situation, I could have been doing this play, and then it's a different level of intensity, but you still gotta be intense. So yeah, I was wondering if on your side it was the same thing.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of coaching that I found, was just the trust you have to give in these young kids, and you teach them and communicate and try to correct and train them, but then it's up to them, and you're almost helpless on the sidelines. You can make some corrections and some suggestions, but it's just a lot of teaching and training, and then trust. It's like parenting. Try to teach the correct principles, and then let them go figure it out for themselves. And it's not easy, especially for control freaks like you and me, probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you? So you're now working in retail and sales. What can you bring from your football career to G2G bar?
Well, I think just tenacity and just persistence. I mean, I'm in sales. I've never considered myself like a salesman type of guy, but I think most sales is just persistence and follow up and making adjustments. So that's the biggest thing. And luckily for me, we've got a product that sells itself that really is easy to sell. So we just got to get it in enough people's hands.
So that when you're going to be in Montreal in a couple of days and they're going to say your name, and I didn't know you were going to be there, I'm going to be in the crowd. I'm going to make sure I'm in the crowd, and I'm going to make sure we celebrated the 20 years. I didn't know about that, but now I know, and I'll be there. Now, when they're going to say your name, people are going to go nuts. Are you ready for that moment?
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be great. It'll be emotional to be back in that stadium, and hopefully there'll be, a full stadium cheering on the Alouettes, and we need some help this year, and hopefully it'll be a season changing game where we can start getting on the winning streak.
I have a question for you, because it's a question I ask a lot of people, and we often ask the fans on the internet, would you rather be a Hall of Famer or win a championship? And you got both. So for you personally, what made you what is something you're going to bring to your grave if you have to bring one? Your Hall of Fame career or championship?
Well, the championships are the most special for sure. They're the
Oh,
ones
yeah?
that think about. You think about the memories in the locker room and the guys and the relationships. Um, that that the Hall of Fame honor is amazing, but it's almost like you feel guilty because I my success was so dependent on 11 other guys.
Mm.
To get all the credit and the notoriety. They're on the line and they're not highlighted every single game and every play. So it's nice, but I realized that happened because so many other guys, and it happened just because I played 13 years and the numbers started adding up. And thankfully, I played 13 years with a Hall of Fame quarterback. So that's kind of icing on the cake. But when I think about my career, I just think of times in that locker room, hanging out with the guys, eating at pregame meals at the keg, and just chilling with the boys, and those are the special things, the relationships.
Another receiver who was a straight up animal on the field. You were there when SJ Green caught that ball. You were there. What happened on the bench when y'all knew when he caught that one-handed 2-point conversion against I think it was the Riders, I think?
That was sick. That was ridiculous. It really was. That's like a dream catch. He's probably done that 100 times on his own bed in his own bedroom.
That's
But
crazy.
do it in a game for a touchdown that was ridiculous.
Who's your favorite? Who was your favorite guy growing up?
I love Jerry Rice. I loved his work ethic. I loved how just kind of professional he was, and just kind of blue collar guy, not too flashy. But so I like Jerry Rice. I grew up watching a guy named Wayne Corbett too for the
Okay.
Jets. And he became a hero because he was similar body to me, more quick and fast, but just got it done over the middle a lot. So those two guys probably.
Do you think, and I don't know if it's appropriate to ask, but do you think you would have the same career in our era? So 2022. Do you think you'd have the same career? Would you be a different player? So I like to try to compare the eras because it opens up discussions. So what do you think?
I think I played 20 years now instead of 13 because now they call everything. When I was playing, pass interference was an afterthought. Nobody called pass interference, and we were getting absolutely assaulted every play. But now you can't touch the receivers. They have free release almost every play, and it's way easier for the receivers. So I think I would thrive. Because that was my weakest point, was trying to avoid contact and avoid the jam or press coverage. And when I was playing, they let a lot of stuff go, those refs. So now it's different.
You never answered back at somebody because I was asking people and they're like, man, he's you can talk to him, but he ain't talking back. You never answered.
I did a couple times, and it went so wrong that I cannot smack talk anymore. So it was just embarrassing. There was a guy on our team. He was on our team on the Alouettes for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Good guy, great friend of mine, Kelly Malvo. And then he went over to Winnipeg. And he was a halfback, defensive back, so I was going against him. And we knew each other. We were comfortable. And his buddy, one of his other defensive backs, was like grabbing and holding like crazy, and I was getting frustrated. And I just blurted out. I pointed to him after, like, I got up, pulled myself off the ground after he threw me down.
Wow.
I didn't get the ball. He's just throwing me down, playing defense. And I got up and pointed at him and said, "I'm going to kill you." And then that was my smack talk. And the next play, Kelly Malvo comes trotting over after the play and goes, "Did you just tell, I think the other guy's name was Kelly too. Did you just tell Kelly you were going to kill him?" And I just roll, yeah. And everybody just started laughing at me. Like, that's all you got, Cahoon? You're going to kill him? So that was smack talk gone wrong. And I just decided to try to keep my mouth shut from after that.
This is the best story. You said you were going to kill the man. This is amazing. Okay, so we're almost done. We're going to go a little rapid fire and then we're done, okay? So what were you listening in the locker room before games?
Classical music. I know that sounds weird, but
that's very weird.
Defensive guys, they get all fired up. It's more emotional. Offensive guys, it's more execution-based, and I just wanted my nerves calm. I would get nervous, so I wanted something that was going to calm my nerves. So,
wow.
Yeah, just slow classical stuff would calm me down.
What are you eating in the locker room?
I had to eat I got on a pretty strict routine as far as when. It was not necessarily what I ate, but when I ate, because I'd have a little hypoglycemia, low blood sugar stuff. So I would have to eat, pretty soon before the game. But I wasn't real picky. I wasn't superstitious about what I ate or anything. It was just more when I ate. And then later in my career, I learned all this stuff, about fueling and making sure you had protein that kept you fueled and the right amount of carbs to get your energy, keep your energy up, and that changed the game for me. Is just staying hydrated with the right amount of carbs throughout the game, so you wouldn't bonk or lose it at the end of the game and be weak and tired at the end of the game.
Who would have you wished to played with?
Doug Flutie, maybe.
Wow, Doug Flutie, eh?
Yeah,
wow.
I missed him completely. My first year, I think, was the year after he retired, but he was just fun to watch and an icon, obviously. But it'd have been fun to play with, I think.
Okay, and last question. If you were not a football player or the top salesman, retail guy for G2G bar, I'm going to rep that bar. You help me, I help you. I'm going to rep that bar everywhere I go. If you were not one of those two things, what would have you been? What profession?
Good question. I got accepted into grad school for physical therapy. I was always going to be a physical therapist. But obviously it didn't work out. But I wish I'd be a professional golfer. I think that's where it's at.
You're very good?
Oh, I just wish.
Okay, so I don't know in what city you are right now, but I promise you, I will bring my clubs. I will bring my clubs to your city and we'll play golf.
Let's go. Anthony and I have a pretty good golf rivalry. He's come into Utah a few times, and obviously anytime I'm in town, if I've got time and he's got time, we golf together. But
okay, so I'll have to fly to Utah. I don't know nothing about Utah, but I'll bring my golf clubs. I'll bring my hat, and I'll be ready to swing. I got that Charles Barkley swing, but it's okay.
I hear his swing is improved. So.
Yeah. Hey, as long as it goes straight, I do not care about how I look swinging.
Let's make it happen. We'll make it worth your while, man.
100%. Thank you so much for taking time for the pod. Thank you so much again for supporting the Classic. And for sure, we will have many, many more projects or things to talk about in the near future. And whenever you feel free, you're more than welcome to come on the pod. This is we have a big family, the pod, and we're very happy that you're part of it now.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It's been a blast.
Thank you so much.
Excited to be in Montreal this week, too.
Let's go. Man, y'all will never know how much it means to me, man. It means to me. This is awesome. This is great. This is cool. This is a blessing for me. The dude is the greatest Alouettes of all time with AC. And he comes on the pod, chats with me, invites me to golf. I'm like, dude, I watched this dude when I was a kid. Watch this man dominate. Watch this man win some championship. But yeah, man, it's special, man. I can't wait I can't wait to meet him, and I can't like face to face, and I can't wait to have more legends on the podcast. This now we're at what 196, 196, episode 196, and we have more things to come in the upcoming weeks. But stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram. Give us some love, and make sure that you take good care of Ben Cahoon's G2G, because I ordered some. Yeah, I got mine, and I can't wait to provide more people with it. And I'm very, very happy that even during the summer, it's not. People say, "Oh, summertime, it's not the usual time that you listen to podcasts. Don't this or that or whatever." Guys, y'all are there. That's why we continue to put podcasts out during the summer, because y'all are still there, and y'all are being so involved and so cool and so great about everything. So I'm pumped. I love you guys and gals, and I can't wait for next week, because next week we have two special person for me for English Fridays. So I can't wait for you guys to hear more from those two girls, because I think it's gonna be a great conversation. I got a smile on my face. I think you can feel that smile on my face. It's gonna be a great conversation, baby. So let's go. Let's have a good time. Let's have a great weekend. And I think it's Oshiaga weekend. Be careful. If you drink, don't drive. If you God, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Love you.